Hey, I'm Tom,
And I'm Josh.
and this is the Blockcast.
We're LEGO fans. Click.
Welcome back, everybody! Today we bring you back to the ultimate LEGO Leaderboard.
Board.
If you are unfamiliar with the ultimate LEGO Leaderboard, let me go ahead and walk you through a little bit of how it's going to function. Today we have a unique set that's going to be set up, and it's going to be a lot of fun to talk about. So let me go ahead, share my screen a little bit, and we are going to talk about our ultimate LEGO Leaderboard setup because if you haven't been here before, these are all the sets that
Where
we
have you been?
reviewed, and we're up to 10. Today's set will be number 11. The last set we talked about was one of Josh's favorite, and it was Captain
Captain
Jack
Jack
Pirate.
Sparrow's pirate ship.
Yeah. It got total score for 215 from Josh, which is his technically second highest score behind Tudor Corner. Um,
Yep. Someone's going to be knocked out of the top 10 today, folks.
Correct. And we decided to do something a little bit different. We decided to go with a retired set, I think for the first time. Every other set that we've reviewed has been an active, engaged set, yet we've never touched on a retired set. If you
That's
are
right.
unfamiliar, we will run you through how it works. But today's set, Josh, let them know who it's going to be.
It is going to be Voltron, which is going to be set number 21311.
Correct.
So this is a LEGO idea set that originally premiered in 2019,
I think it was,
and
yeah.
It uh it's an idea set, like I said, which means that this was created by a fan, put
Of
through
Voltron.
the Lego Ideas program, voted upon, and eventually turned into an actual Lego set.
Correct. Um, there is a nostalgic connection for a lot of those of you that were born in the 1980s for Voltron that we wanted to appeal to, but also it is a robot slash mech, and I thought it was super cool that I wanted to talk about. I've seen it on shelves, and there's a lot of intricate and really cool building techniques that are technically used here that we haven't really seen before, but we'll touch on that. The one thing I did want to talk about a little bit is our scoring system. Feel free
Yes.
to screenshot and pause so you can read the descriptions. I'm not going to go over them all. Josh and I have 15 categories. Each category gives Josh and I 20 points each. So technically a max of 40 points per 15 categories, 300 points each, a total final points of 600. We scrutinize these sets to the micro detail to make sure we truly like them, or we might not at all, and sometimes we've been really surprised about the outcome.
That's
So,
very true. Uh we have some true surprises there on the Ultimate Lego Leaderboard board, and I think today might be another one of those surprises, at least for one of us.
at least for the most part, prior to this, there's somebody in here that might like a Voltron a little bit more than the other. Not naming names. But the nice part about it is that we break it down and see how it really pans out in total to see how the set does. Now we've predetermined and pre-chosen some points. The reason being, we learned in our very first episode, if we were to do all 15 categories, we would be here for quite a long time, and you don't have time to either watch us that long or hear us. So we decided to predetermine some categories before we got into it. But yeah, feel free to screen share, follow along. If you want to rank with your total points of 300 down in the comments below, please feel free to do so. And also, if you have any recommendations on sets that you'd like to see us review on the Ultimate Lego Leaderboard,
Board.
please let us know in the comments down below. So let's begin with Voltron here on the Ultimate Lego Leaderboard. Voltron, which they don't show you on the website, what we can see for those of you listening at home, as Josh said, was 21311. It originally retailed it came out August 1st, 2018 for $179.99. It has 2,321 pieces. Um,
Yep.
this was a cool set. Like, to be honest, when I saw it on the shelf and I saw that it was coming out, I thought that classic '80s nostalgia vibe was there. And I think we'll dive a little bit deeper per category, but I think it's definitely something we're going to be talking about. But I guess we should begin with design. Josh, what do you think?
The design of this is actually pretty good. The idea from the show, for those of you who are not familiar, is that these defenders each had a robotic lion type creature, and the five of them would come together when the universe needed them most, and become they would be combined to become Voltron. So Voltron is made up of the five lions, and the Lego set captures this. So in essence, the lion builds transform, not to use another '80s property, and are all built into this. So when you take them apart, they can stand individually. When you put them together, then you have Voltron. So the design itself is actually pretty cool. There's some neat components where you just bend the legs and they kind of like disappear into the build. Um, there are some other elements that come through the shield and the sword that are not part of the original build. So if you have the lions separate, then your sword and your shield are just kind of sitting to the side, not really incorporated into the build. But when they come together, it all comes together, and I think that it's a pretty solid design element. Um, and for that reason, I am going to go ahead and give the design a 14.
14? Okay, okay. I see that. All right. So, for me, I think I should just get it out of the way. At the end of 2025, Lego had officially introduced the idea that they were going to come out with a set related to the Power Rangers. Correct?
I,
Officially.
I believe that is official.
It is official. In terms of renderings, ideas, photos, we have no idea. The reason I want to do this today is because if you're unfamiliar, Voltron was an early adaptation of ideas that came out of Japan, started in 1981, got adapted for US television in 1984, and appealed to the 1980s. Growing up, I did not grow up on Voltron, but I did see episodes because of Toonami from Cartoon Network in 1997, in the late 90s, so I got to experience Voltron. Was I head over heels for Voltron? I think Voltron falls into that '80s nostalgia of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, falls into that nostalgia of He-Man, falls into the nostalgia of Transformers, where things had to just have multiple components and everything had to work together. And in the early 1990s, that idea came to the US in the form of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, was originally based off of a Japanese show called Super Sentai, where you have multiple different animals, Zords, that would come together and build this. So my design is I think Voltron is the beginning of this idea where when that Power Rangers set comes out, I'm probably going to be comparing it hand in hand with Voltron. So today I want to talk about Voltron ahead of time, just for the sole fact of being, this is cool. As a kid, I wanted to build Zords, and the design of this, not only did you have five functional builds, yes, it's hard to build Lego and then build another thing out of something else. So they not only had to design each individual one to have moving components and parts, but then they all had to interlock and come to be something bigger that also has movement and combinable parts. So that's what I think is really cool with this build. What you don't see in a lot of it, especially with the Lions, their waist is very thin and it's maybe one or two pieces. The way they take these photographs is a little bit deceiving. So there's a because they needed those components specifically for the arms and legs of Voltron. So there's the center portions of the lions. So the arms and legs could physically move. So that he is technically a robot, but in terms of Lego, I really haven't seen anything like this up until this point in 2018. So Voltron for me for design in terms of thinking it through and building these lines and then figuring out how to make components interlock and be functional and playable, uh, I'm gonna give this an 18 for my
Oh,
design.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go high with this because I think design in terms of, I guess, functionality, but also playability, I think it's designed very well.
All right.
Our next category is build experience. Josh, it looks like you gave it a 6.
I did. It's repetitive. In terms of the lions, the legs are almost the same build, the arms the same build. So you're building each of these two times. The chest is a little bit different, so that one's a little bit of a different build, but at the same time, it's really similar design. If you've built brick built animals like these before, the experience is not that much different. It's a lot of just pieces stacked on pieces. There's not a lot of uniqueness in the individual lions. The overall build is unique, but the components that come together to make it are really randomly, not randomly, but run of the mill and nothing truly special. It's great if you want to put the show on in the background and build without really thinking about it, because it is repetitive. You don't have to give a lot of attention to the build itself, um, but it's not super fun or exciting because it's the same thing over and over.
I share my opinion with you. To be honest, you're very right in that. Now that I look at it, I'm gonna lower mine to a 9. Yes, I'm actually changing categories, everybody, just for the sole fact of repetitiveness. At the end of the day, yes, you can have design where it's all intricate, but when it lacks a little bit in terms of, because you have the arms are the same and the legs are the same as Josh said, it's a dual-sided build where it just can be, oh, I'm building another one that I literally just built in a different color. So
Yeah. And I
I
mean,
do
the
share
legs
that with you.
themselves are almost the legs of the individual lions are almost exactly the same. You're building those 16 times.
Yeah. So I share that with you, except for the center portion, which is probably the most intricate part of the build, which holds all the other lions to. The build makes sense. So that's why I'm going to give it a 9. The next category is playability. Josh?
So there is playability. The lions themselves, breaking it into the individual components, are articulated. You can move those legs up and down. You can move their mouths. Their heads can go side to side. Once it all comes together, Voltron's head moves. The I guess I'll call them wings can move. The arms can go up and down, and he can be posed in a couple of different ways. However, and this is we'll talk about this a little bit more in durability, but there's there's only so much play that you can do without it coming apart because it is large and because it is heavy. When you're posing it as Voltron, it's really just posing. It's not true play because if you play as he did, as the defender of the universe, he's most likely going to come apart.
So
Uh,
what is your
so for
playability score?
playability, I'm because each component moves and then it comes together and it moves in different ways, I am going to give it a 10, but I feel
Oof.
like more could have been done.
Okay. So I'm basing my score on playability. This will probably be the set that. So back to Power Rangers. Sorry, but this is okay. As a child, my favorite toy were the Zords from Power Rangers. I go to Toys R Us every year. You'd have a new season, you get a new Zord. You get multiple components that form the one giant Megazord. And as a kid, I loved playing with them because it was the idea of disassembly and reassembly, and it wasn't too hard. With Lego, and I kid you not, I would build Zords out of Lego. And my favorite part in playability is when they would fall apart. It was the best because at the end of the day, it challenged me to build it better, and it also gave me ideas to build other ones. So I'd be like, "Oh no, Voltron is defending the universe, and his arm gets chopped off. Let me build a new arm." And you could build it. It inspires creativity because it's the idea of failure and overcoming failure. Meaning that if if the toy is perfect, it's not truly playable. With the Zords, even the plastic Zords that were very stiff and rigid and their arms could move, and you do these big motions. Granted, if you watch the original Power Rangers, it's guys in literal costumes, puppeteering, not puppeteering costumes, but like Five Nights at Freddy like costumes. They're huge. They could barely move, but it matched the toy's movements. So you could do all these slow-mo attacks and like movements. And the best part about it is that you would have to do the setup just like the show did, where they have to do the super assembly. And I'm assuming the Lions all had like the "it's time to transform into Voltron," and they do the "do do 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 do," and where they have all like the lions and everything, just like doing all these like crazy moves to like interlock to become Voltron. And that was my favorite thing as a kid. I do all the theme music and all the things. I'd be like, assembly, like ha ha ha. So playability for me on this, yes, it's a destructive force. Yes, these things are going to crumble like that. You can see based off of this info, like just at the joints, they are not gonna hold if you try to make Voltron fly. He's too heavy. He's 3,000, close to 3,000 pieces. It's not gonna work. But it's the idea that it inspires these kids to build their own version of Voltron. And you can make new pieces and armor and giant guns and like cannons and other things to attack. Like you could take the giant peely banana from the Fortnite set and make him the evil villain for Voltron. Or you could take like, I don't know, Optimus Prime, and they could like try do 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 do, and they could like fight it out. It would be super cool for playability. I've gone on too long on this category. I'm gonna go ahead and give my score now. I'm gonna give it a 19.
You know what? I have to appreciate the passion here.
Okay, value for money. Sorry, I got that's probably my favorite playability set because that brought me back. That brought me way back.
Clearly, I love that. That's what this is about.
Also, side note, Dexter from Dexter's Lab also had a robot or a mech that was also like Transformers or whatever. I used to build his robot all the time. It was great. It was an easy build too. I digress. Let's continue. Value for money, Josh. What do you got?
So as an IP and as an idea set, for this to have only been $180 for the number of pieces is actually pretty good. So you're getting it's coming out to about 7.5 cents per brick, which is not bad. However, the pieces that you get are small. You can see that there's a lot of single stud tiles or two stud tiles that kind of make up some of the details here. You're not paying for any minifigures, which we'll talk about, or any exclusive like print on bricks or anything like that. There are stickers in this set. So $180 is not a bad value for the amount that you get. And because it is an IP, because it is ideas, because it is kind of a first in class mech type build, it's pretty solid for $180. But we're also going to take into account that this is a retired set, which means
This
that
is the
it
first
is no
time the value
longer
for money changes.
$180. If
Yes.
you find it for $180, buy seven, um, because that's about how much a single one would go for.
Uh,
That value, I don't know. That's going to be for the collectors, the ones who are truly passionate about Voltron as the character and collecting it. Not your average builder. Uh, but again, basing it on its original price, I think that it's a fairly good value for money. I'm going to say 16.
so the interesting thing that we haven't experienced yet, because value for money has an additional portion and piece that we normally predict, but we don't see. And this is the first set that we've seen in the Ultimate Lego Leaderboard where we've seen the value for money play out. Because this set came out, what, 8 years ago? Um, we've seen how the value for money has played out. Because this set retailed for $179.99, and as Josh said, if you find them for that price, buy them. The value for money for piece wise, 7 cents and a half p 7.5 cents per piece for an intellectual property set in 2018 is very good. Even back then, that was like an excellent price. Before they realized the intellectual property holders were like, "Can we get a little bit more?" This was a great deal when you were to buy it in the store. Now, if you want to sell it used, complete with the manual, you can get up to $350 used, open. You get more than what you paid for it, displayed it and playability. You get your money back plus $20 if you sold it cheap. And as Josh said, it now retired, brand new, like old new stock, brand new, $500 to $600 if you have it sealed in the box. Value for money is incredible on this set. The only downside, and surprisingly, it held its value because it's the IP. There's no minifigs. If it had minifigs, I think it would be even more. We'll get to that. We'll get there. Give us the time. I'm going to give it an 18 for value for money. Nostalgia, Josh, tell me your love for Voltron.
I gave it a 1.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I heard of Voltron, but
You
not
were
my
born in
thing.
the
Not
1980s, weren't you?
uh despite the hair, no. Um I'm a 90s kid, but I was not much into, like you said, the Toonami. I was a I was a Disney Channel kid. Um, a little bit later, I'd branch off into Nickelodeon, but Cartoon Network was never my jam. So though I had heard of Voltron, that was more in just like having walked through the toy store and seeing the toys on the shelves and things like that. But it didn't have a particular interest to me. I was not into, giant robots and that sort of thing. So there's no attachment
No,
for me here.
no.
I'm giving it a 1 because the box is cool,
I,
and
I
I like the retro style of the box.
Same. For me, it was the idea that we grew up on the second run of Voltron, meaning the recast or the reshow on Toonami. I did not watch it like I watched Dexter's Lab. I did not watch it like I watched Ed, Ed and Eddie. If it was on, it was on, but it was tend to be later in the evening, and I was younger in 1997, so I didn't get to stay up that late to watch it.
Was
So it
that
was
how
a little
time
bit,
works?
huh?
I said, is that how time works? You were
Yeah,
younger in 1997.
yeah. So I really didn't get Voltron because also at the same time as Voltron that would premiere in 1997 on Toonami, Power Rangers was in full swing and full capturement of my imagination, and Voltron was kind of like oh, they have Zords too? I don't really know. So yeah, with mine, I went ahead and I gave it a 4. I remember watching it. I remember the characters. I remember the story a little bit. The box is very cool, but it doesn't have like that 80s nostalgia for me. I'm a 90s kid as well. We are on minifigs. I'll swing this one. It doesn't have any. None. Could minifigures, in theory, fit the scaling and size of this? In theory, it doesn't match
Yeah.
as well, but it could have made sense in terms of collectability. I think Lego since 2018 has realized if we pair a minifig with this set, people will buy the whole set for the minifig. So I think if
Mhm.
this was to be released today, watch them release the 5 minifigs, and again, Power Ranger set if it does come out, um, we'll get all 5 minifigs. Watch. Or we'll get like a mystery minifigs with putties and Rita Repulsa. Oh, I'd die. I digress. Yeah, I gave it a 0.
Yeah. It's
0
it,
minifigs.
it
There's no
it's zero.
minifigs.
And what's particularly interesting though, and we'll talk about this a little bit later in instruction quality. Lego has historically included in the instructions details of the characters that they include in the set. We have the introductions to the characters in the instructions, but no minifigs to go along with them.
Yeah.
So, mm, what? Strange choice. So 0. Yeah.
Innovation. Go.
As we discussed, it's kind of a first in show in terms of giant mechs. So I think that in and of itself is a pretty neat aspect. I think that having the build itself, the individual builds themselves are not innovative at all. The way that they are designed to all come together is. Um, but that's really only half the build. So again, I'm gonna go a little bit higher than half. I'm gonna say 12.
Okay, 12. For me, innovation. As a kid, I always pictured this set, um, Zords. I love the idea that they are their own thing and then they come together to form the giant thing. Don't know. It was just even now, I'm like, I'll watch the Power Ranger intro and be like, oh my God, they're forming the Megazord. And I've watched that hundreds of times before. But it was the idea of when they come together. But I truly appreciate the person that took the time to design this because it is hard enough trying to design something, especially in Lego, small enough but big enough to make a Megazord. Because easily you could have designed these lions to be, bigger to accommodate the size, but your mech, your robot would have been huge. Like the set would have mattered. The innovation of them they having the ability to move their head and their arms while being Lego and also attach is also impressive. Um, the playability of the individual lines, yes, not as innovative. Correct, I agree. But as Josh said, I completely agree with them folding their legs in and moving their tails up and over and like literally changing from lines to other things then forming together and all of it holding together. That's so cool. Up to this point, we haven't seen like Transformer style like this, and so that's why I'm going to go ahead and give it a 15. We are now at durability. Go. Let's this is yes.
Yeah. So it unlike some mechs that uh the joints really come together as the key points of whether it can stand on its own. This was actually fairly strong. It is designed in a way that it has to be able to hold the weapons, and the sword that comes with it is rather heavy. But the joints, the way that they designed it, it's a ball joint with gears. So that gives it some extra strength to be able to support the weight of the weapon, which I think is impressive. Um, but the the individual lions, again, the as Tom mentioned earlier, the waist of the arms, it is just that one joint. So it is something that over time will get weaker because it is a ball joint. It has friction. That's what keeps it up. But with time, that friction slowly deteriorates. It's happened, with other Lego sets and things like that. Especially if you're playing with it a lot and that sort of thing, there's going to be some natural wear and tear that eventually he'll no longer be able to support his arms. But out of the box, it's pretty decent. But in general, mechs have a structural challenge um, that make them flimsy. And because of the weight of the upper section too, if you bump the shelf, this thing's falling off.
Yeah.
So for durability, I gave it 6.
I gave it even less. I gave it a 5. I'm gonna go back to playability with this. Not necessarily. I'm combining durability with playability. If you lift this wrong and you try to make him fly, and you're 9, or you're an adult and you want to make him fly, those lines on the bottom are gonna fall off. He falls over while you're playing, while setting up the giant banana that you're gonna fight him against. He's gonna break pieces. His back is easily gonna fall off. Josh is completely right. Those ball joints, even on the Megazord toys, the plastic ones that were built to last, they lose and then the arm falls down. Granted, it's Lego, so you can fix it. Playability will destroy this very quickly,
Yes.
extremely quickly. Displayability, you have more of a chance. Over the course of gravity, it will wear on these parts, and that's where Josh's comment comes in. So that completely makes sense. Playability, oh, I give it like 2 plays as a child and goodbye. Like this is gone. So 5 is my ultimate score on this one. Displayability, what do we got?
I'm iffy on the display ability. It is
The foot and
it
a half.
is
It's 18 inches.
It is striking in its size, and its colors, but there, and this is with any mech really, there's a lot of empty negative space around it. And unlike other mechs that we've seen that have come with some kind of stand or display to say what it is, I feel like it's missing that. Like, how, we mentioned that there were no minifigs, but have a small display that you can put in front of it that has the minifigs and that has like a plaque that says Voltron or something of that nature to give it that wow on the shelf. Because otherwise, if it's just standing alone, if you're not familiar with the character, the fact that like his torso and one arm is red, but then the other ones are different colors, if you're not familiar with the character, it doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense. It's not intuitive that if you have it built as Voltron, that it's five lions that have come together to form one thing. But I guess that if you're displaying it, you probably know the story a little bit. But on its own, you walk into a room and someone has this on display and they have other Lego on display. This isn't going to be the one necessarily that's going to draw my eye. I'm gonna give it a 6.
Oh, okay. This is the first thing I would look at in a room. Today we're being argumentative.
Yes.
Again, Power Rangers Zords. It's not a Power Rangers Zord. I know, I know. It's just I like the different colors and I like how it can come apart. I think in displayability, if you were to display it, also, why are there space lions? Do they ever explain that? They must.
Uh,
Um, if you display it as just the lions, I think I share Josh's point. When you walk in a room, it doesn't make sense. You can't see it. This thing's 18 inches tall. If you leave it as the mech or the Zor, the robot on its own, I think it commands a presence just based on it being so big. The back of it, granted they don't show it in the photos on the website, and I understand why they don't show it in the photos on the website, is very plain. It is
yeah.
very not as inviting as the front of the mech.
And the sword too is one-sided. So depending on how you position it, if you position it the wrong way, all you see is
The back.
back blank stud or reverse studs,
Yeah.
which is
So
not a great aesthetic.
displayability for me, um, it looks good. If you get the right lighting on it, I think it would do well. I would have loved a plaque. Not necessarily minifigures, but minifigures would have been nice. But a plaque. I think a plaque would have been fun. So Josh went ahead and he gave it a 6. I'm going to give it a 12 for displayability. Granted, it's hard to display something that's a foot and a half tall. Good luck with that. Um,
So we went ahead and pre-voted a couple of the next categories just to kind of keep things moving along here. So theme representation, I gave it a 10. I think it captures the theme's essence and how everything comes together. But again, it's missing that element of there are characters, there are people who control these lions who ultimately work together and bring it together to make Voltron. And to not have that, and like they're on the box, you can see them on the side of the box. They're in the instructions. To leave them out, I feel like it's doing a disservice to the overall theme that there is. It's not just a sentient robot. There is some level of collaboration and control from people, characters.
Correct. I agree with that. And that's why I gave it a little bit of a higher score because I do think it captured the theme. Because at the end of the day, Voltron is the one that's going to save the universe, and the people are technically inside Voltron. Um, so I went a little bit higher because I think it truly captures the theme. Next one we have part selection. As we mentioned earlier, and Josh mentioned earlier, it's brick built.
Yeah,
There's no unique pieces. You're going to get individual micro pieces. But to be honest, don't get me wrong, they use those pieces very well. But
they
there's
do.
nothing like that stands out on this robot that we haven't seen before in any other set, color
Yeah,
wise or piece wise.
yeah. I think the coolest aspect of it is the shield that comes in the chrome gray. But beyond that, it's very um It's very run of the mill. Again, very small pieces to make up these builds because the lion, the size of the lions and stuff. So yeah, it's a pretty low score here for me in the overall part selection.
Yeah, Josh gave it a 3. I gave it a 4. Instruction quality. So let's take a look at our instructions. There are
Oh,
6 books to be had. The first 25 pages of book 1 are
but it
literally introducing you to what Voltron is. Hey, look, people. You think minifigs? Am I right? They
right?
introduce it right there, but they introduce the whole cartoon and the purpose of each lion, which is, I think this is nice. I think this is a good intro to those people and all the
Absolutely.
villains.
I agree with that. I think that it is interesting, though. You said this is in the front of book one. It's not. It's book six.
It's book
That they
6. I
include
thought
this
this was
kind of
book 1.
introduction to the character. Um, the fact that it is 6 books drives me
Here's another one,
absolutely
and another
insane.
one, and another one, and another one, and another
I
one.
I don't love it. I don't. The Lego Builder app is great if you want to build something with family and friends and each build a specific section. However, that was not the case here, or at least not the design element. They wanted to break it into the 6 booklets so that I guess each of your friends could build a section and then you all bring it together as Voltron. I didn't really have friends that I would build Lego with. It was more of a solitary build thing for me because it's my Zen time. Still is kind of.
Oh, first 10 pages. I'm sorry. First 10 pages in the introduction to Voltron.
Uh, and but it having the Lions build first really kind of takes away some of the luster for me. This if this was book one and it had all of the details about Voltron and stuff, I think that's a great introduction, especially if you're not familiar with it. But to start with the lions, you have just a zoomed in face of the lion on the cover of the instruction booklets. It doesn't have that kind of wow
We're
for
not there
me.
yet.
And there's no other than the blurb at the beginning of book 6, there's no other fun details as you build. Maybe because the builds themselves are not super detailed or
I think the
interesting.
best part of the build, though, Josh, is
Hmm.
taking the 5 lions and building Voltron.
Sure, sure. So that's the wow. It doesn't need the extra details in this booklet. Just the way the booklets, it's a 4.
Oh, oh my gosh. Okay.
No,
4,
no, sorry.
5.
I'll give it 1 point per booklet. It's a 6.
Are you sure you don't want to leave it at a 4?
No, we'll go to 6
All right.
because I do enjoy that history of Voltron and the talk of the creator and the designer and how they did it. I think it's silly to include the characters that you don't include in the set. But yeah.
So I'm gonna get close to that. The one thing I do like is that they explain what Voltron is. It makes sense. So this way, especially if you're a child of someone who was born in the 80s or the 90s, you can understand who this is because it's not on regular TV. You have to search for this. But Josh is right. The rest of the build is just Lego brick built, but they don't give you much. It's very plain. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to give it a 10 out of our max 20 points. All right, so our next is expansion potential. Do we see it get an expansion? Can we get an expansion?
There's obviously potential there, right? We've gone on and on about how there's no minifigs. And then the instruction booklet also talks about space mice and all sorts of other creatures and characters and things like that that could further flesh out this universe. And the characters, Zarkon, all of these things could potentially be an option for expansion. However, let's keep in mind that this set retired in 2019. It is 2026, and we have not seen them choose to expand it. A lot of times with the ideas line, we don't usually see an expansion. Most of the time, if it's a theme that's represented by ideas, it's kind of a one and done. which can be a little bit disappointing. But again, we are assessing based on potential. So I think that because there's potential to further flesh this out, it could be a 15.
I'm gonna hold to you with that at 15. Um, the only downside is that we haven't seen an expansion, but the idea of the market in terms of 80s nostalgia is there for this set.
Oh, for
If
sure.
if they wanted to, they could release minifigures for this set, and I think people would go out and they would go get all of them.
Yeah.
There's enough characters in this universe. I think after the first two seasons, I think they did them like Power Rangers, where the theming changed like every year to 2 years, and you get a new mech or you get a new villain, and there's enough characters in this universe that there is expansion potential, and I think there's a market for it. So that's why I'm going to share Josh's opinion at a 15. Now, granted, this is just what we think and not what could be plausible. Right now, it's been 7 years since this set came out, and nothing.
Nope.
Could it have? Yes. Did it? No.
Nope.
So we might potentially could see more of this, but maybe we'll get like Thundercats instead. Who knows? What we have is exclusive elements. For me, the reason I gave it a 5, stickers.
Hmm.
Besides that, not a lot. And some of the sword pieces and shield pieces.
Yeah. I mm, stickers I don't want to really rank the exclusive elements on the stickers because stickers are just numbers. One, two, three, four, five. So even in that, it's fairly uninspired, but if you can't get it anywhere else, you can't. The chrome bricks are how this earned 2 points for me.
Yeah. I went ahead and I gave it a 5. There are people out there that are Lego sticker collectors that'll probably get this for the sticker sheet, and those pieces are unique as well. So I went ahead and I gave it a 5. We are now down to our final category of the 15, and that is the
Wow.
wow factor here for the Ultimate LEGO Leaderboards Voltron set. Josh, when you walk in a room and you see Voltron, how wow are you?
Yeah.
Oh, not even a wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
And perhaps as we explained, we have not done a retired set before. Um, Knowing what has come since kind of shapes the experience, right? We've seen now Transformers, we've seen three different builds in the Transformers line, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and Soundwave, that have been similar to this. We've seen other mechs with Ninjago and Fortnite and all sorts of other kind of properties that have just since then done it better. But again, trying to shape the view based on kind of when it came out, it was the first. So there is a wow to that. It is a unique experience that if you walked into a collector's room back in 2018 and you saw this, it's large, it's interesting, there's colors, so it is going to draw the eye a little bit. Um, the wow for me though comes from the fact that 5 individual builds do come together into the one. So I'm actually going to give it a 12 for wow.
wow.
Mhm.
That's very generous. Because I walk into a room and go, wow, is that Voltron? Okay. As we said at the beginning of the episode, you know why I'm basing a lot of what I'm basing on based on. As a kid, this is the set that I always tried to assemble and build myself. I was just enamored by one thing changing into another, and then that thing changing into a giant thing, and being like, I'm gonna kick some butt with this giant thing. It was so much fun. Um, the impressive thing for me when I go wow is that not only do the lines function themselves or their legs move and their head moves and their body is a part of another thing, is that the legs move out of the way and fold up to fold into themselves because then they become arms. You can take a look at the pieces in in the mouths. That's to hold the sword and the shield. I was like, wow, that's innovative for hand control because it's like the original, plastic toy. And then the innovative portion of the larger lion to then house the head and the wings and hold all of these components that is going to hold up the legs and the other lions for the arms is impressive. It's a lot of weight. Almost 3,000 pieces is a lot of weight to put on specific Lego joints without them being fully secured to one another without one connection point. And these lions have one connection point. Then there's the wow factor that you walk into a room and go, "Wow, it's Voltron." And you can display it as lions or you can display it as Voltron itself. The wow factor comes in for the playability mostly for me, not so much the display ability based on my scores. If I was to see this on display, I think it would be super cool if it was well lit. From the playability perspective, not only from the child's perspective, granted, this is what I always wanted. Wow, this is great. This is a day one for me if I was much younger because of how innovatively cool this is just to assemble and play with and disassemble and reassemble and disassemble. So for my wow factor, I'm gonna go 18.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and give it 18. All right, here we go. Josh, we have a combined total of 286 points, which is
Okay.
pretty good.
286 out of 600.
Out of 600, I gave it for the first is this the first time I've given points higher than Josh?
I'm relatively certain that, in fact, it is
I
the
gave
first time.
167 points. Josh gave 119 points. If you can tell, Josh did not enjoy this set very much. But with 286 points, it leads on our LEGO leaderboard in ninth.
Technically 10th.
Technically 10th. Yes, yes. Uh, it is not well loved here on the LEGO leaderboard board. But yeah,
But
Voltron was fun. Voltron was a fun one to talk about. It was probably, you know, uh,
it's
ridiculous.
it's interesting though, because I believe this is your third highest rated.
Is it my third? 167?
167? No, I was not correct when I said that. Fifth. So it's still up there.
It's still up there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's still up there.
And we gave it a
And
total
this
points
is
of
my second lowest.
second lowest. What was your lowest?
Pizza versus fire truck race car pack. Which, I mean, that's fair. Uh,
So
but
that
wait,
is
hold on. You rated that one higher than me as well.
Pizza versus Hire Truck? I did. I did.
So this is not a first where
No.
you've ranked higher.
But I did enjoy this set. But this is what the Lego leaderboard does. Did I really like this set? Apparently not. But I only gave it 4 more points than like the Shire. There we go. I mean, we haven't touched anywhere in the high 200s yet on any set, which is interesting.
I am very curious to see what that is, what that set is ultimately going to be.
Megazord. If they do it right, Megazord.
Tom's first 300 set is obviously going to be,
Megazord. Okay,
but
so with that,
we
Voltron has a total points of 286 points. After our total rankings, it ranks 10th on the Ultimate Lego leaderboard. I went ahead and gave it 167 points. Josh gave it 119. Josh, let them know what they can do.
Yeah, so let us know where Voltron ranks on your ultimate Lego leaderboard board. Uh, did you like this more than us? Is there anyone out there who actually has the nostalgic connection with this set who maybe finds it as great as Tudor as we did the Tudor corner? Um, we want to know about that. Let us know in the comments. Let us know on YouTube, on Instagram, what you think of Voltron. And if you have ideas for sets that you want us to go ahead and look at in depth and rank on the Ultimate LEGO Leaderboard board, please let us know that as well.
Please.
As always, like, subscribe, follow us, and let us know what you want to see.
Yeah, tell your grandma, tell your friends, tell your aunt, tell your mom. Here's the thing. Every
And your male
person that
relatives too.
subscribes, there's 221 of you now. If you ask us, Josh has a whole bunch of minifigures in a physical Lego audience. And if you ask us to build a minifigure, we will put it in our Lego studio audience for the Blockcast.
And those of you that let us know and design your own minifig, you get to go in our
Yeah.
VIP lounge, exclusive
Ooh.
here at the
Now
Blockcast.
remember, this costs $0. So please let us know if you subscribe. To be great to chat with you. But we
Not zero for
appreciate
me.
that there's a line for Josh to build segments of studio. But it was great to have you and enjoy. We hope you enjoyed Voltron. With that, my name's Tom,
And I'm Josh.
and you have been enjoying the Blockcast.
We're Lego fans and Lions. Click.
Bye, everybody.